Greetings, music lovers, and welcome to the fourth virtual On Your Radar, the post-convention edition of that, and pre-election, I guess. Uh, on Your Radar, I'm John Platt, by the way, from WFUV. That's my show is on Sunday Supper, but I've been doing On Your Radar for about 16 years in New York City. The last 7 at Rockwood Music Hall on the Lower East Side. Uh, of course, it's closed down for the duration, and it's uncertain when in-person performances will come again. So we're taking advantage of this marvelous technology and StreamYard to do what On Your Radar has done every month for all those years. It's a showcase for 3 artists that I think deserve your attention, and a 30-minute set for each, plus a little Q&A up top to give you a little backstory for appreciate them some more. And tonight we have artists from Nashville, Houston, and Brooklyn. Now I'm in Long Island. This is the hub of the universe, and I'm happy here. The weather has been so beautiful for days and days. I don't know what it's like where you are. I think primarily of my friends in California who are dealing with extreme heat and those wildfires. So our hearts go out to you, and I hope you'll stay safe. But wherever you are, you're welcome to be on your radar. And I asked you to please listen to all 3 artists because they all deserve your attention, and also support the artists. And you can see on the scroll there the PayPal URL, paypal.me on your radar 2020. And I'll remind you about that during the evening because it's really important that they you should show your support to them, because whatever comes through in donations goes directly to them. So I want to first bring in the woman from Brooklyn, and that would be Mary-Elaine Jenkins. Hi there.
Hi, John.
Yep, we were going to actually do On Your Radar this month at Rockwood, and we transitioned to this version, so I'm glad we were able to still do it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you actually have your roots in South Carolina, am I right?
That's right.
What was life like there?
Well, I grew up near the beach. Actually, I'm here right now. I'm visiting my mother down here. I've been here for a couple weeks. Yeah, it was great. Kind of right here down in the Low Country, which has a pretty, I think a lot of my, I've got roots here in terms of just culture and the kind of music that I like, and just probably my personality too. So, it was great growing up here. I mean, I also really love living in New York.
But how much of that South is still in your blood, you think?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if we listen carefully, we'll probably detect some of that Southern influence, right?
Probably.
But you do some traveling to Washington, D.C., and to Spain, and then Brooklyn. What were you looking for in your travels?
Good question. Yeah, I moved to D.C. for college. I went to George Washington University.
Okay.
And I really liked D.C., but I was ready for an adventure. So then I taught English in Madrid for 2 years, which was great, and kind of started to play music more seriously there. It had kind of been, I'd always done it since I was a little girl, played guitar and worked on songs. But I started to kind of play real shows in Madrid. I had kind of a little crew of musicians, and we had our own little scene, which was a lot of fun. And then when I moved to New York after that, I kind of hit the ground running and started doing it, taking it really seriously. And yeah, here we are.
Did you make friends instantly in the New York, Brooklyn music community?
I did. There's just a great roots and kind of Americana, whatever people's version of that is. There are a lot of great people making great music like that in Brooklyn, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised and excited to find that. So I think it's a great community, and a lot of those people I know.
Yeah, we could compare notes, but it would take up a lot of time, so we'll do that offline. But your debut album, Hold Still, was produced by Tom Beamer, and he engineered a number of Broadway cast albums, among other things. And do you think his sensibility on that, was influential in terms of what you were looking for in some strange way?
He has done a lot of work on the Broadway cast albums, but he's the scope of records that he's worked on is so huge, and he's just recorded every kind of music, and he has great ears. And I think that because of that and his kind of he's just worked with so many different people, and he's done I mean, he's worked on a lot of classical music, and then he's worked on rock music and Broadway. So I think just his incredible ears were what to me what makes the record special, sound as special as it does to me.
Well, he's certainly well versed. Now, some reviewer described your voice as a mix of clove, sage, ash, thorns, and honey. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I think it sounds right. I hope. I mean, I think it took me a while to find my voice. You know, when I was growing up, and then I started listening to people like Bonnie Raitt and Lucinda Williams, and I said, okay, this is more my speed. These women have low voices that are a little rough around the edges, and I think that kind of helped me get into that space that I think she was talking about in that review.
Well, give us some music and we'll listen and see what we think ourselves.
Great, thanks for having me. This first one is called The Rooster. It's off Hold Still, the record that you just mentioned. Can you hear him, that long-legged rooster? He's pecking around my door. He's just looking for some weak-willed woman who will let him in once more. Sister, don't let him in. I'm running out of willpower and wherewithal. Can't give a little bit without giving it all. Get behind me, rooster, get behind me and be gone. Window closed tightly, but God Almighty is making such a fuss. Hoping and praying I can stay out of temptation, but he's sounding kind of trustworthy again. Oh, I'm running out of willpower and wherewithal. booster. Just make sure everybody can hear me. I think we're doing all right. Okay. This next one is called Ghost Tour. 6.5 dozen, I need you, I told you I did. I won't wrap myself around words, somebody else's miles and miles. Won't separate you, you've got one thing on your mind, and I know what it ain't, please. Don't take me on the ghost tour tonight. No, I won't even open my eyes. Follow my lantern light. I want you back inside. It's a 50s prom song. Not scared to fall. I'm scared of death and snakes and spiritual fraud. Having a breakdown in B minor. Wanted to learn you. Patience, the most overrated virtue. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate lying to you. You're driving yourself crazy, oh please. Don't take me on the ghost tour tonight. No, I won't even open my eyes. Follow my lantern light. I want you back inside. Do you want to witness a hallelujah? Do you want to get fed and loved and touched and read to, or someone to fool you? Ooh. Stay with me, wait, 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 please don't. I told you I wouldn't and I won't. I'll hold the line. You can kiss your howling revenant goodbye. Slowly, slow down now, take your time. But damn it, do it for good, oh please. Don't take me on the ghost tour tonight. I got no business on that moonlight ride. Follow my lantern light. I want you back inside. I want you back. Don't take me on the ghost tour. I got no business on your ghost tour. Let's ghost tour. Alright, this next one is called Delusion and Desire. rest my bones inside. Foolish and tired. Can I sit down beside your fire tonight? And I know delusion and desire, I can take them alone, but delusion and desire together make me want you more than ever. Wrote you a letter, compared you to a bodak tree, hard as iron, nice to look at, hell of a history. It says you got the right stuff, do you know what I mean? Oh, ink that disappears, whisper in my ear, oh, you're slipping into my atmosphere tonight. And I know delusion and desire, I can take them alone, but delusion and desire together make me want you more than ever. And Alan says we're innocent when we dream, and I hope that's true, 'cause sometimes in my sleep I pour myself all over you. And I know delusion and desire, I can take them alone, but delusion and desire together make me want you more than ever. Oh, that makes me want you more than ever. This next one is kind of a I live in Brooklyn, and I miss New York. Even when I'm there, I'm kind of missing it these days because it's not quite the same. So I'm gonna do a New York centric song, kind of a new one. Well, me in New York, we kind of miss you, and we wonder what it'd be like to hold you again. Well, mostly me, 'cause New York doesn't give a damn, and me in New York, we're getting over you. It seems like ages since you left, so how come every block between Houston and 14th still makes me sweat? And don't even get me started on that place in Lafayette. Me in New York, well, we're working on it. I'm in so many fragments, and I wonder if I even know the difference between love and attachment. So pop the cork, free jazz, you just couldn't get enough of it. Well, guess what? I don't even like that shit. And me in New York, we're getting over you. You wanted a time machine to unsay everything. You didn't mean well. I bet you could find that in Queens, and me in New York, we're getting over you. I can't love you slow, New York. You shimmer and you heave and you send me all the places you know I need to go. And damn, it sure feels good to let it overflow. And me in New York, I think we're just about over you. This one that's about New York, kind of. This is a relatively new one. I've been working on some songs with my buddy Daniel Wolf, who's a wonderful poet and writer and historian, and he just knows a lot about music, and he's got a great ear and a way with words. So I've been lucky to have been working on some songs with him over Skype in quarantine, and this is one we worked on recently. It's called Nocturne. Slow dance under a single glow, pots and pans left to dry. No distinctions, no shadows, just your eyes on mine. Two glasses, a little smoke. The night fills up like a bath. Cold whiskey, warm coke, and midnight stifling cricket mad. I wish we never had to learn that this won't be enough. A kitchen dance, a nocturne, and our eyes squeeze shut. Count the steps, but count them slow. Wait, sorry. Count the steps, but count them slow. Pressed against you, soap and sweat. Stitched me up inside your clothes. Is this as close as I can get? Told you it was new. The ceiling fan keeps getting louder. The old transistor housing cracks. We're liable to knock out the power. And would we ever get it back? I wish we never had to learn that this won't be enough. A kitchen dance, a nocturne, Wish we never had to learn that it's just not enough. A kitchen dance, a nocturne, and our eyes squeeze shut. Right. I'm gonna play a quick cover, if that's okay. Take it to Cover Town for a second. My favorite Spite song. Now you say you're lonely. You cry the whole night through. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Oh, I cried a river over you. Now you say you're sorry for being so untrue. Cry me a river, cry me a river. Oh, I cried a river over you. You drove me, nearly drove me out of my head. Well, you never shed a tear. I remember all that you said. Oh, you told me love was too plebeian. You told me you were through with me. And now you say you love me. Well, just to prove you do, cry me a river, cry me a river. Oh, I cried a river over you. You drove me, you nearly drove me right out of my head. You never shed a tear. I remember all that you said. Oh, you told me love was too plebeian. You told me you were through with me. And now you say you love me. Well, let's see you prove it. Why don't you cry me a river, cry me a river. Oh, I cried a river over you. Cry me a river, cry me a river. Oh, I cried a river over you. My grandmother really loved that song, and I like to imagine her like drinking gimlets and listening to it. I've got one more for you, another new one that I worked on with my friend Daniel Wolf. It's called Truth Teller. Thank you so much for having me, John, and everybody, and get ready for Jordi and Julie and John. It's going to be, I'm excited to hear everybody tonight, and thanks for tuning in, and I'm just excited to be part of John's show. And my record is Hold Still, which is available anywhere where you consume or purchase or stream music. And I hope you like it. Would love to hear from you if you do. Thanks. And thank you to Rob and Gordon for their wonderful behind the scenes work as well. All right, this is Truth Teller. Take me down to the garden, sister, fetch Maggie from her room. I think truth here, and I'm gonna find out. Oh, a couple drops mixed in with the brandy, and the words will start to flow. I'm gonna get to the bottom of what nobody wants to know. No damn breeze, it's 100 degrees among the fly traps in the fire. Your clothes are sticking to you, I can almost see through you, I can nearly read your mind. And I don't have to see it to tell you what it is. A fever dream in the twilight steam to show you where you've been. Whose idea was this whole thing to begin with? Or crazy liar, truth teller, don't call me a fool. Bought and paid either way, there's violence in the violence, casual and cruel. Doctor, your potion speaks right to me. What's in this witch's brew? My nerves are all jangled, the details are tangled. I wish I could tell it to you. Did the jungle get closer? My brother, my mother, the path just disappeared. Doctor, we all use each other, fondness mixed with fear. Tell me, doctor, have you ever been to the place the dogs won't go? The night's full of cotton and the plaster is rotten and the streams are filled with snow. Well, if you haven't been yet, I hope when you get there you won't have to stay. 'Cause what you find there belongs to you now, you can't give it away. Whose idea was this whole thing to begin with? Oh, crazy liar, truth teller, don't call me a fool. Bought and paid either way, there's violence in the violence, casual and cruel.
Woo! Mary-Elaine Jenkins. Oh, you know, your originals have such a great vibe.
Oh, thanks, John.
And I love the fact that you did Cry Me a River, one of the all-time great
Yeah.
porch songs, right? But also the New York-centric one, New
in New
York.
York.
How's it go? Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's an original too. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of LCD Sound System.
New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of imagined it as kind of a sassy, like Mose Allison kind of song, right?
Yeah.
No, not
Is that
yet. That's
recorded?
on my project I'm working on right now. Mm-hmm.
On the next record? Well, whenever you get it ready, even if you're gonna maybe
Oh, great.
preview it on the
Absolutely.
Sunday Supper,
Yeah,
we'd love
thank
to
you.
hear it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, my pleasure. You can go to MaryElaineJenkins.com to know more about her. Please go to paypal.me on your radar 2020 to show your appreciation for her and all the other artists. And please share with your friends at John Platt's On Your Radar, the Facebook Live page or the YouTube page. We want to build up the audience and get all kinds of people in on the action. And if your friends, are out to lunch or out to dinner tonight, you can tell them that you can catch the recorded version in the archives at either Facebook Live or the YouTube channel for John Platt's On Your Radar, and it will stay there forever. And I think the music is going to have lasting appeal. So coming up next is a guy from Houston named Jordi.
How are you,
Baizan.
John? I'm doing great.
Hi, Jordi. How are you?
I'm really glad to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. Oh, likewise. So by way of backstory, you're a your family is first generation
I'm
American,
actually
right?
first
Spanish and
generation
Cuban.
American. My mom is Cuban and my dad's from Spain.
But
Yeah.
wow, wow, and with that in mind, growing up with that culture, did you feel any kind of prejudice as the Americans say, oh, you're the from the other side of the border
I
and
think,
stuff?
Maybe it was prejudice, although maybe it was more. I mean, I think there's a lot of prejudice in teenage and younger years. People bully each other for the craziest reasons. Yeah, I mean, we used to dress a little differently. My mom she felt that if you went to school, you dressed your best. So we had to wear like leather shoes and belts, and all my friends would wear like tennis shoes, and she'd also make us wear undershirts, and so I would actually.
That can be hard in Houston.
Maybe in the winter, but I would actually sneak into the bathroom and take all that stuff off and then change back before I saw Mom. So, yeah. Carmen.
Now you have a Mexican wife, Carmen, right? And 4 kids.
Yeah.
And you had a business of some sort.
I grew up in my dad's business, and I worked there for 17 years after college, and then I started my own company after that. Houston is a big energy center, so I'm in the energy business. So still doing that on the side.
And you're still doing that on the side?
More and more as time goes on, and it's like the kids grew up, and I got to really dedicate more seriously to the music, which is something that I had wanted to do since I was very young, but I think I was a little too chicken to do, and I had no regrets though.
Well, yeah, Well, you turned out to be a late bloomer. Your first album was called First Time in 2017, right? And your second one, Free and Fine, was from last year, and it lived on the folk DJ charts for more than 6 months. And that's great to have that kind of staying power. Do you feel that as you had the time to really devote yourself to the career, the acceptance that you've gotten from festivals and peers has really been gratifying
so
for you?
I mean, it's funny, even though I'm a middle-aged man, I mean, I still, there's a part of me that longs for that recognition, that what you're doing means something to people. And I've gotten wonderful recognition from songwriting contests and many of the gigs that I've been able to book, and, getting to play on your show in New York City before all this happened. And but a lot of some of the real magic has been just playing live shows, and the recognition that you get when you connect with an audience member that comes up to you after you've told a story through a song, and they come up to you at the break or at the end of the show and they tell you their stories. That's something that I truly, truly miss about live performance. But,
you can only get so much from the comments on screen, but I hope you will still enjoy those. I know several of your close friends in the music business were On Your Radar alums, Terry Klein and Willa Mamet.
Mamet, yes, great people, great friends, great writers, and they're my buddies. All these people that I admire so much are my friends. It's really
that's
neat.
the great thing about the music business in general, and what On Your Radar does. It really becomes a community, and we're trying to do that, of course, virtually and not just in person. Now, Walt Wilkins was your producer, and he's known as a songwriter, but also obviously a producer. What did he bring to your record?
Well, Walt has just this, I love his music and the arrangements of the music on his own records. And he was actually a judge at a songwriting competition in Texas that I was a part of, and I got a chance to interact with him a little bit, and I just felt the vibe was amazing. And then Terry Klein, our mutual friend, another artist, had just done his second record with Walt and just spoke very highly of him. So it all kind of came together. And after interviewing the last 2 or 3 producers, I settled on Walt as my first choice.
He refers to himself as a troubadour. Do you think of yourself that way too?
Oh, well, I never really thought that was going to be my path. I was always more of a rock and roll guy. But then, as a young man, I ran into James Taylor, and
who didn't?
Yeah, and I was fascinated by what he could do with just a guitar. And as I became more free with my able to spend more time on the road, I was like, it's really hard to take a band, but I can take my guitar. So I went back to my roots, the folk roots from my parents, the music that I heard from them, simple, direct songs and simple storytelling. And I had to relearn how to do that. And I've done that by learning from some of the greats like Guy Clark and Dylan and Joni Mitchell and also the David Wilcox and the Mary Gauchets.
Yeah.
And then my contemporaries at Kerrville, where I have been attending for quite a few years, and Folk Alliance. I just made friends with these amazing songwriters that inspired me to learn how do they do that. And,
well, I think you've taken inspiration from some good role models, and I hope you'll share some of that tonight. This is Jordi Baizan.
Thank you, John. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. The original intention was to be in New York City to play this show at the Rockwood Music Hall, and that was not to be, but how amazing that we get to do this live and people get to tune in from all over the world for us to share some songs. So I'm going to start with a song for the New York City show that was not to be. I'm going to start with a song set in New York City. I love to travel and share my songs. And also when I travel, I get to see how people live. And sometimes, I don't know if you've done this, but I imagine what life might be like if I lived in that life or in that house that I go by, or those people that I see down the street, if they were walking down the street, wondering if they were my friends, what my life might be like. And this song is about an imagined life set in New York City. It's from my first record, from my latest record, and the song is called Could Have Been Us. Monday morning rush on the uptown line. Bodies press and sway. The train car rumbles and whines. Tired of staring at the phone, I looked up. I saw lipstick on the lid of a coffee cup. The cheekbone scar, the lotus tattoo were clues to solve the mystery of you. At Columbus Circle, you turned to get off. I couldn't help wondering if it could have been us. Could have been us. Later that year, in the neighborhood store, I saw you checking out, just one register over. I noticed the tomatoes, the nectarines, your skin, and that guy that you were with, who was more than just a friend. way you looked into his eyes was like morphine for pain. The brush of your fingers like a warm summer rain. The two of you fit like a hand in a glove. I couldn't help wondering if it could have been us. Could have been us. Grown-ups aren't supposed to be lost in childish reverie, but maybe daydreams teach us what we really need. We got a little snow. I took Jack out for a walk. I saw you standing on a front stoop, arms wrapped around a box. You lugged it down the stairs to the back of a van. Well, it was clear to me that Brooklyn was no longer in your plan. A voice came from the front seat. Okay, Jessica, let's drive. You smiled as you passed me on the passenger side. I mustered, have a good one. The engine started up. I couldn't help wondering if it could have been us. I can't help wondering if it could have been us. Could have been us. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Now I'm going to do a song that's a request from our host, John Platt. Thank you, John, for requesting this song and for playing it on Sunday Supper this past weekend, your radio show on WFUV. It's quite an honor to have been on your radio show more than one time. And I know you like this song, and thank you again for requesting it. It's a song that is inspired by my real life experience with the big hurricane that hit Houston in 2017. This is a real story of my family and how we were impacted. And the hurricane kind of came out of nowhere and was a real challenge in our community. I think there were 800,000 FEMA claims as a result of Hurricane Harvey. This massive hurricane that just stopped right over Houston and the surrounding area. So this is Heroes All Around Us. They've been telling us for days that it was coming. The big one, the storm to end all storms. Rain comes down in windy sheets. Water rising in the street. It's dry and warm inside, but that might not last long. It's gonna rain for days, Houston, there's no place to go. If it seems the world is falling all to pieces, and we're much too small to face the hurricane, we are not alone at all. We have neighbors, friends, and family. There are heroes all around us. We're gonna be okay. Well, Bray's Bayou's up 10 feet in just 3 hours. Our friends in a 2-story house said we could come on over. The water's halfway up the yard. It's too late now to take the car. We pack 1 suitcase each and this guitar. Lock the doors behind us and leave our home of 20 years and wade 3 blocks to safety in the dark. Thank God we have someone to call. If it seems the world is falling all to pieces and we're much too small to face the hurricane, we are not alone at all. We have neighbors, friends, family. There are heroes all around us. We're gonna be okay. Well, it's morning and it's clear the bayou crested overnight. Our neighborhood is now a lake. There's no end in sight. Honey, come and check this out. 2 young men paddling a canoe, rescuing an older man, his dog, and wheelchair too. And soon more help would follow. The kayaks and the power boats. A people's army mobilized. That's what heroes do. It's in their blood. It's in your blood. Because you're heroes too. If it seems the world is falling all to pieces and you're much too small to face the hurricane, you are not alone at all. You have neighbors, friends, or family. There are heroes all around us. You're gonna be okay. There are heroes all around us. You're gonna be okay. Thank you, guys. That's Heroes All Around Us from my latest record, Free and Fine, which was released back in July, a little over a year ago. I'm going to play another song. I'm going to play another song from that record, which in the interview, John mentioned a buddy of mine named Terry Klein. Terry and another buddy, Todd Withers, and I were at the New Folk competition, just watching from the audience back in 2017. And we watched the competition, saw many of our friends, some people that you might know were in the competition. And anyway, a big rainstorm hit right after the show, and the Kerrville Folk Festival is mostly outdoors. So we took refuge in Todd's travel trailer and spent a couple, 3 hours there in the travel trailer. Todd had never written a song, but we pulled out one of his guitars and ended up writing this song, which has been really special to me. So this is a Todd Withers, Terry Klein, and Jordi Baizan composition called Between the Sun and the Moon. A perfect afternoon in May, my best friend's wedding day, outside a clapboard chapel built in 1898. I saw you standing all alone on the limestone gravel road. In your bridesmaid dress, you were playing with your hair. The full moon on the rise, the sun sinking in the sky. We were standing between the sun and the moon. You, me, the sun and the moon. Rings and vows exchanged, the band began to play. You sat at a table, pulled the label off a bottle of beer. You finally caught my glance. I decided to take a chance. You took my hand and we danced to the maiden's prayer. The full moon on the rise, the sun sinking in the sky. We were dancing between the sun and the moon. You, me, the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. Sing it with me. The sun and the moon. Across the floor, step by step, dusk to dawn, breath to breath. I wished we could stay right there. Confetti on the floor. I walked you to your car. You kissed me on the cheek beneath the stars. All this time gone by, I think of you sometimes, and I wonder to myself where you are. When the full moon's on the rise, the sun sinking in the sky, are you standing between the sun and the moon? We were standing between the sun and the moon. You, me, the sun and the moon. Thank you. Thanks so much. So I'll continue along the lines of the story of the big flood in Houston. We experienced what it was like to be displaced. We had to leave our home where we lived for 20 years and raised our kids. And we moved into an apartment for about 7 months after living with our in-laws for eight weeks. So one of the things that I noticed about that is that my wife Carmen really felt uprooted and that she was missing those roots. And I noticed that she didn't hang any pictures on the wall of the apartment where we were living. And I made a note in my songwriting notebook, no pictures on the wall. And a couple of weeks later, a buddy of mine named Jackson Emmer came down from Colorado to play a show with me. So we wrote this song by the pool in this apartment complex, and it goes like this. It's called Pictures on the Wall. Moving in, planting roots, boxes on the bed, packing peanuts, rolls of tape, here we go again. Seems like yesterday, we've done this before. We're stones that keep on rolling, and life just keeps unfolding. Every turn just leaves us wanting more. When do you hang pictures on the wall? When does a house become a home? In between the living and the final curtain call, when do you hang pictures on the wall? Taking steps, no regrets, breaking in that bed. Room for friends and barbecues, cold beer in the fridge. Hoping that we'll find sunny days ahead. I know I've been drinking, I just get the feeling we might have a permanent address. When do you hang pictures on the wall? When does a house become a home? In between the living and the final curtain call, when do you hang pictures on the wall? We can wait until it's right, but there ain't no perfect time. Let's take a chance and settle down. It's our place, it's our town. Never more to roam. When do you hang pictures on the wall? When does a house become a home? In between the living and the final curtain call, when do you hang pictures on the wall? In between the living and the final curtain call, when do you hang pictures on the wall? Thank you so much. Well, I've got time for one more song, and I think I'm going to play a new one for you guys. I just released this song as a single. I just finished writing it in July, and I felt it was timely, and I actually wrote it for a song contest, and the theme of the contest was monuments, and I was fortunate that the song was recognized and by the contest as a winner, which was really cool, and decided to release it. So it's now available on all platforms, all digital platforms. And I guess I'd just like to say thank you to Gordon, Rob, and John for having me and for putting this amazing platform together for songwriters and for audiences to come together. John is such a great recognizer of a variety of songwriting talent from all over, and his radio show's amazing. So for me to be here is really just a great gift, and your attention today is also a great gift. So I hope that next year maybe I can come through New York and play a live show and meet all of you personally. But until then, take good care, and stay tuned for the wonderful Julie and John Pennell, who are up next. I'll be hanging out and listening. So this is a song inspired by the theme Monuments, and it's called Melt Me Down. They put me on this pedestal 160 years ago, grandiose in bronze, noble and esteemed. My glory's now corroded green. My story adds insult to injury. It's time for a change. Melt me down and bring me back as Lady Liberty. This world doesn't need me anymore. We're all a little scared, but there's something better for us out there. Melt me down, bring me back as Lady Liberty. 10,000 fill the square and street, 5 hours in the summer heat, walking side by side, chants and signs and songs. There's power in their peaceful way. They've come to set the record straight. Let freedom ring. Melt me down and bring me back as Lady Liberty. This world doesn't need me anymore. We're all a little scared, but there's something better for us out there. Melt me down, bring me back as Lady Liberty. Last night I had a dream, little girl looking up at me. My torch held to the sky, and the broken chains and shackles laying at my feet. So melt me down and bring me back as Lady Liberty. This world doesn't need me anymore. We're all a little scared, but there's something better for us out there. Melt me down and bring me back as Lady Liberty. Oh, melt me down and bring me back as Lady Liberty.
That is indeed a very timely song.
Thank you, John.
And I'm glad you shared it with us. And I'm glad that that sort of music is available so readily now, you know, digitally. Tom Paxton used to call those short shelf life songs, you know, and back in the day, he would record an album, but it might be, you know, 12 months between when he wrote the song and when he got it out to the public.
Yes, yes.
And one of the beauties of this worldwide internet is that we can do it more instantly.
Yes, you can put it out there and let it be what it is for a little while. It doesn't have to be on a record necessarily. You know?
But I thank you for doing Heroes All Around Us, because that's still a timely song too. I mean, that wasn't so long ago that Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. Boy, that's alliterative, isn't it? But you know, I think of the people who are dealing with the wildfires in California, you know, and their homes are at risk, and there are so many heroes, you know, whether the firefighters or, you know, neighbors and stuff like that. And that's a song I call Compassion and Commitment. I have a Spotify playlist called Songs of Compassion and Commitment. And those sort of songs need to be heard, and they need to nurture us as we go through these hard times. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you so much for having me and for promoting this music and growing the audience, you know?
Yeah. Jordi Baizan, On Your Radar. And you people who can't see what's going on backstage, the artists are all commenting on their fellows' songs, you know. So John and Julie Pennell and Mary-Elaine Jenkins were going just what I don't know what the word is, cavelling maybe on what Jordi was doing, and vice versa. And I hope you will share first of all the websites, the Facebook Live or the YouTube, John Plack's On Your Radar, because we want to get this music out to more people. That's the way it works, you know, it multiplies that way. And also keep in mind the artists and what they are doing tonight and what it means to you. So go to that PayPal link, paypal.me, On Your Radar 2020. Next, I want to bring in John, Julie, and John Pennell, who are in Nashville. Come on in, guys. Whoops, there you are. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm just fine. Keep On Walking is their current album. It's on the folk DJ charts. I believe it's number 5. So, you know, it's I think it's very timely that I can have you do On Your Radar while it's hasn't yet even peaked yet. So congratulations.
Wouldn't it be nice if it went even further? But
well, sure. Well, let's make it number 1.
Yeah.
We'd be happy with that.
So you guys, well, let's see. John, you come from Southern Illinois initially, and I think of Southern Illinois as being more south than Midwest. Would you agree on that?
Well, actually, I come from Central Illinois,
No.
but I did go to school at Carbondale, which is in Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
And anybody that's from Chicago considers anything south of Kankakee, Southern Illinois.
There you go.
So, yes, I guess.
Now, what's your connection with Alison Krauss and family?
Well, my initial connection was that her dad was my German teacher in high school. And this was before Allison was born. So I won't say that my ability to speak and write German was a indication of things to come. But anyway, that's the initial connection. I met Allison in the early '80s. They lived in Champaign, Illinois.
John, can you lean it in a little
Yeah,
bit so we can hear more?
They lived in Champaign, Illinois, and I had been working with another fiddle player, Andrea Zahn, who's from there, who has gone on to great things. I'll just put a plug in her. She plays violin and fiddle and sings with James Taylor now. But we had a little band, and I met Allison at these little fiddle contests they had around Champaign, and we got together and started playing. And she was playing around with different groups, including us and a group from Indianapolis, and I was writing songs, and she got a deal with Rounder, and they liked the songs, and there it goes. You know?
Yeah, she did a number of your songs, including Every Time You Say Goodbye, right? Which was,
that's correct.
among other things, the title of an album of hers. And Julie, you're originally from Northern Ontario, am I right?
That's right.
Yeah, near the Algonquin State Park, National Forest, or state.
That's right. Right. The
My
provincial
wife and I
park.
had our honeymoon
Did
right near there.
you?
Billy Bear Lodge, ever heard of it? But anyway.
Yeah, that's great.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. You came from a family of musicians, is that true?
Yes, there was music at every occasion.
Step up a little too.
Oh, sorry, there was music pretty much on every occasion. You know, my grandmother played piano, and my aunts played piano. My dad was his whole family was musical, and so, you know, even if it was just on a visit, we'd pick up a guitar, mandolin, and just sing and play. So there was always music around our home.
So when and where did you two meet?
We met in 2000, the year 2000, at a festival in Northern Ontario, the River Valley Bluegrass Festival, and you know, I guess I guess that's 20 years ago now. We met, and then we had a long distance relationship for a couple of years, I guess, before we got married. And I moved here, and this has been our home, the home we've lived in since then. So.
Are you in East Nashville?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's a great neighborhood. Now you've got a couple of kids, right?
Yeah, we're hoping you won't hear them.
Well, that's
run
okay.
around throughout this,
We are tolerant of other kids. And did one of your daughters figure in your sitting on the river, sitting by the river video?
Yes, both of them. The couple of videos that we recently did, both of our kids are featured in there. The best part of the videos, I would
Well,
say.
they've got great moves, I got to tell you.
Thank you. That was Nicole. We call her Rock and Roll Nicole for obvious reasons.
So, John, you really have an extensive songwriting catalog. I don't know whether you could mention a couple about it. I know that you did a lot of co-writes with Harley Allen. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Harley was a very close friend of mine. Great talent. Of course, he was grew up in the bluegrass world, which is kind of where I came out of as a result of playing with Allison. And of course, his dad, Red Allen, was one of the great bluegrass singers. And yes, Harley and I wrote several songs together. We did a song that Alan Jackson recorded, Meat and Potato Man. I don't really consider myself a redneck, but it is kind of a redneck song. But it was a fun song to write. It's a fun song. So.
And Julie, you're a writer too. Do you feel you're less prolific from John, or is that not fair to say?
Well, I guess I did initially,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, I've written a lot of songs since living here and written songs before I met John, but if anything, it's been inspiring. He's got such great a great approach to music of all different genres. Bluegrass, country, jazz. So
Yeah.
he pushes me to do better, which is good.
And how much of your writing is co-writes? Figure.
Well, we had on the album, I think 3 of them were co-writes. But co-writing is, that's a whole different subject.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes you get in there and you write, you both write the whole thing, and you're going back and forth. And sometimes the other person just kind of lays back and said, "What you're doing is good, but try this." So you kind of have to know what you need to contribute. And
Sort of like an editor, I guess, huh? In some
yeah,
ways.
exactly. And it just depends on the situation.
So-
Sometimes it's what you don't say that is better.
So what do you think makes your partnership work?
Well, I think we love each other.
I cook really, I cook a lot. Musical partnership.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. I love her cooking.
Yeah, that's good.
I think we like all kinds of music. I think musically, it's for me anyway. I like that there's a palette of music out there that
Yeah.
John also likes and appreciates and is proficient at, like from classical guitar, to jazz. So it's I appreciate that because I love just different styles of music, and I mean, I think that helps me make it work.
Well, she's, people, well, maybe I should say this, I won't, but I mean, Julie is very, very talented. She's a great singer. She's plays multiple instruments and very well. She plays the banjo. You'll hear it, dulcimer, and she's very natural. And she comes from a very musical family in Ontario. So it's it's great to work with someone like that. And I'm kind of spoiled, given that I played with Allison for a number of years. But Julie certainly carries her own weight in the music world, and she's just a little tidbit, if I may. We did this song on the album. We'll do it tonight. It's called Please Don't Think Less of Me, and she plays banjo on it. And I sent it around. Of course, Jerry Douglas and Sam Bush play on it. And I sent it, our demo to them. And when Jerry came into the studio, went to record it, he said, who's playing banjo on that song? And I said, oh, that's Julie, that's my wife. And he just kind of nodded, and then to see them sit there and work with my wife, I mean, our idols, you know.
Yeah, well, world-class musicians like,
Right.
you know, Jerry and Sam. I mean, but it's great to have that talent at home, and you're at home right
That's
now. Can you give us a little bit of homegrown music?
Yeah.
You know, we're
Sounds good.
going to do a swing tune right now that Julie and I wrote. I helped her write, called "Your Body Never Forgets."
And 1, 2, 3. You pick up smoking, never knowing what you may be going through years down the road. When you're 16 and your world's green, it may seem you can never grow old. But here I am, can't hardly breathe. I got no tricks left up my sleeve. It's a good thing I don't have time to dwell on regrets. Your body never forgets. I was jaded, dislocated, running nowhere but moving fast. Got drunk in cheap bars, I left some deep scars. I didn't think that pain could last. But here I am, can't hardly breathe. I got no tricks left up my sleeve. It's a good thing I don't have time to dwell on regrets. Your body never forgets, and never forgets. Your body never forgets. Yeah.
Alrighty. The next song we're going to do is a song that's actually the title track of the CD, called Keep On Walking. And this is a song that Julie wrote. And as my friend Harley used to say, it goes something, well actually it goes exactly like this right here.
1, 2, 3. Yellow moon lights the street, a steady stream of universal love at my feet. And when the sun lifts to the skies, it brightens up my way. Even when I don't deserve this prize, I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on walking this road. Tragedies shake my faith, lonely nights keep coming at the end of icy days, and I have won some battle scars. Somehow I keep on coming through. It's more than lucky stars. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on walking this road. I don't I'm learning with every step I take. A turning leaf, a turning page. The clarity that comes from life outside the cage. And my mistakes are my proof. And this rhythm underneath my ribs leads me to the truth. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on walking this road. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on walking this road. Thank you.
Right, you want to get the banjo?
All right, well, we'll get the banjo out and change things up a little bit. As John mentioned, I am from Northern Ontario, and I was listening to a podcast called Ideas. It's on CBC, and they played this song called The Faces. Oh, sorry, they played this podcast called The Faces of Eve that inspired this song, and it's kind of inspired by personal story and just kind of this particular podcast. And we did a little video of this song too not too long ago, and it's been fun doing that. It was a quarantine project, I guess you could say. But anyway, this is Don't Think Less of Me. I was just a young girl stealing apples off a tree. I was not hungry, I was not hungry, but the devil tempted me. Hiding in the backyard of a lady from our church. I know she saw me, I know she saw me, but she did not say a word. My greatest sin was trusting in someone who didn't love me. I can't go back. I'm hoping that you will not think less of me. Please don't think less of me. The moon began to pull me in its circles through the skies. I felt so helpless. I felt so helpless when the child inside me died. Now who would ever give themselves without an ounce of heart? I'll never know it, I'll never know it, but hard lessons make you smart. My greatest sin was trusting in someone who didn't love me. I can't go back. I'm hoping that you will not think less of me. Please don't think less of me. Once again I heard it when my little girl was born. I called her Eva, I called her Eva on a snowy Sunday morn. My greatest sin was trusting in someone who didn't love me. I can't go back, I'm hoping that you will not think less of me. Please don't think less of me. My greatest sin was trusting in someone who didn't love me. I can't go back, I'm hoping that you will not think less of me. Please don't think less of me.
All right, I've about lost my headphones on that one, but fortunately they stayed on there. All right, I'm going to switch to the guitar now.
We are so grateful to be able to do this, and if I'm understanding correctly, normally this would be taking place in New York City. So hopefully we'll get there someday, physical location, to do that, because believe it or not, I've never been there. We've driven through it, past it, but one of these days I'm going to get there.
Let's do Not My Body.
We're going to do a tune that John wrote with our friend Martin Gilmore. He is a fabulous musician and songwriter who lives and teaches out in Colorado. And this tune was written for one of our friends. Her name is Audrey Mazzara. She was a great musician and artist in her own right. And so it was inspired by her.
Called I'm Not My Body.
Not my mother or my father, but this life I had, they gave to me. Daddy's strong heart and Mama's blue, blue eyes, and a spirit yearning to be free. I felt my tears burn and my skin bleed, muscles ache with pain from the fight. The scars I've worn now, I will discard them on the day my soul takes flight. I'm not my body. What you see is just skin and bones hanging around me till it's gone, and I found my way back home. I'm not my body. One day I will escape and hand off all of my troubles while my spirit lies in wait. I'm not my body. I've been with you can't hold me anymore, and the gusting wind will blow our dust out with the storm. I'm not my body, what you see is just skin and bones, hanging around me till it's gone, and I found my way back home. Not my body, one day I will escape and hand off all of my troubles while my spirit lies in wait. I'm not my body. Not my body, what you see is just skin and bones, hanging around me till it's gone, and I find my way back home. I'm not my body, one day I will escape and hand off all of my troubles while my spirit lies in wait. I'm not my body, what you see is just skin and bones, hanging around me till it's gone, and I find my way back home. I'm not my body, one day I will escape and hand off all of my troubles while my spirit lies in wait. I'm not my body. I'm not my body. I'm not my body. That was for Audrey. Well, we have time for a couple more songs, and I think we're gonna get John to sing a tune now.
This is a song that I wrote with a great songwriter here in town, John Scott Sherrill. I have to detune down to D. As I mentioned, I grew up in central Illinois, and I grew up on a farm. My dad was a livestock and grain farmer. Livestock early in my life. He gave it up later and just switched to straight grain farming. And my family, my granddad was a farmer also, and they had a farm on the outskirts of Urbana, Illinois, Champaign-Urbana being twin cities. And so, you know, the song is about urban encroachment, you know, and just about, you know, being from the country, wanting to live in the country, but not really being able to escape the kind of urban spread that has taken over a lot of communities and taken away a lot of farming land. So anyway, without further ado, we'll do this one. It's called South State Street Road. I live my life out on South State Street Road, where the smell of the earth builds a fire in your soul, and the heat from the sun turns the fields there to gold. The ghosts from the past, they lie buried in snow. Down below 2,000 houses now stand. What was 200 acres of good bottom land? still live on today. I never wanted to move to the city. That isn't where I wanted to be. Now I don't understand, Lord, and I'll be damned if the city didn't move to me. If the city didn't move to me. Trees that once stood there ain't standing no more. And the wind that blows, she just howls at my door. As the sound of the Doziers gets closer each day, I'm still here, but my world's moved away. I never wanted to move to the city. That isn't where I wanted to be. Now I don't understand, Lord, and I'll be damned if the city didn't move to me. I never wanted to move to the city. That isn't where I wanted to be. Now I don't understand, Lord, and I'll be damned if the city didn't move to me. If the city didn't move to me. There ain't much left out on South State Street Road. I'd leave if I could, but tell me, where would I go? I'd leave if I could, but tell me, where would I go?
Yeah. But we have time for one more song. John, what song did you want to try to round out our set
What do
with?
we got here on the list? Let's see, we did Keep on Walking. You want to do? Can't Have It All.
Yeah, let's do this tune called You Can't Have It All. And this is a tune that I started on the way home from work one night. And it just dawned, well, it didn't dawn on me just at that moment, but it just became very clear and evident that no matter how much you'd like to kind of have your health and your money and or some money, sounds good, enough money, and have a family and be able to do music and write music and just all these kind of competing loves in your life, you kind of have to resolve that there's only 24 hours in a day and you just can't have everything. You can't have it all. You have to prioritize, I guess. But somehow things kind of work out because I feel really blessed to have so much, and might not have absolutely everything, but I think I have everything I need. But anyway, this is a tune called You Can't Have It All that John and I wrote together. And thank you so much for
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
letting us participate
You,
in this.
Rob, and everybody, and Gordon, and everybody associated with it. And Sarah, was fun to hear the other artists
Yeah.
on there. They all were excellent, great songs, and well performed. We really enjoyed all of this. So thank you for having us participate.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. whispering into my ear, you can't have it all, you can't have it all. Like I should feel guilty, give in to my fears. You can't have it all, you can't have it all. I am not asking for much, so why does it feel like it's never enough? You can't have it all, you can't have it all. Seasons changing, silence down, stretching and bending, floating within and without. You mock and taunt me and never get tired. You can't have it all, you can't have it all. But I will find peace inside the fire. You can't have it all, you can't have it all. Demons return in the night, making me feel like I'm losing fight. You can't have it all, you can't have it all. Seasons changing, silence down, stretching and bending, floating within and without. Even through space and through time, your boundaries no longer define what's still mine, what's still mine, what's still mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can't have it all. It's a great song. Actually, I played that on the air last week, and so
you.
you ended, and I gave a little preview.
Awesome.
Julie and John Pennell. In fact, if I can raise it, this is the album. Keep on Walking. If you want to actually do a physical disc, it's good to do, but you could also do it digitally. And I should also. This is Jordi Baizan's album, and I'm sorry that I don't have one in my hand for Mary-Elaine Jenkins. But anyway, thanks to all the artists who joined us, but to Julie and John Pennell, you had such range in your songs. You know, it's a wonderful thing to have that. And Julie, I mean, guitar, banjo, dulcimer, okay. You probably have some
I
other.
can't have everything, but I can have every instrument.
There you go. All right. Well, I don't know that we saw everything, but I think we got a good taste of it. And I want to
Well,
thank.
Well, I didn't play trumpet. But
Yes, I know that was your first instrument from what I read. So
yeah, that's right. It was.
if we had more time, you probably could have done it.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody, all the artists who participated tonight: Julie and John Pennell, Jordi Baizan, and Mary-Elaine Jenkins. My God! And if you could see backstage, you know, there was a mutual admiration society going on as every performer did their performance. And that's kind of what this is all about. You know, we want to share the love. And I hope those of you who are out there in the internet land at Facebook Live or at YouTube will take advantage of the PayPal URL, paypal.me on your radar 2020. You know, I hope that you will give generously, maybe commensurate with the performances you heard tonight. You know, that was first rate all around, and we'd like, you know, everybody should know that whatever donations we get go directly to the artists, and they certainly deserve a great deal of things. So thanks to all of you out there who were participating, and I want to thank also, of course, Rob Hinkle, who was the StreamYard producer. He does a great job. We had kind of some technical difficulties last month. I think we got past them, and it was all smooth. Thanks, of course, first to the artists, who are world-class pros, but also Rob makes it easy. Wouldn't you agree, for all of us?
He did a great job.
Also, Gordon Nash, who's our social media maven, and some of the other sponsors or hangers-on, like Richard Caccaro of Acoustic Live New York, which is on hiatus right now, which is a great monthly newsletter, and Laura Mogul of the Landmark on Main Street. So next month, the second Tuesday happens to be on October 13th, so it's actually 5 weeks from tonight, but it will include another married musical couple. We've had 4 in a row. We started with Tragedy Ann in June, actually in July, and Frank and Allie Lee, who had a baby boy, by the way, last month. They were in August, and Julie and John tonight. But the Demores from Austin, Ordinary Elephant, are going to be part of the October one. Ray Zaragoza from Los Angeles, who also had been in New York for a while, who's got some songs which are really speak to this moment. And Michael Veach from Woodstock. So that's another well-rounded thing. We'll make you aware of how you can find out more about them. But once again, thanks to John and Julie, and to Jordi, and to Mary-Elaine, and thanks to everybody out there. Stay healthy and stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
John.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Y'all did great.
Everybody,
Thank you.
too.
It was
Everybody.
wonderful. Enjoyed it.